The world you now occupy with all its conditions and circumstances is nothing more than the objectification of your past assumptions. Your current reality, every detail of it, was once merely an assumption in your consciousness. And just as your present world was born of assumption, so too shall your future world be determined by the assumptions you dare to entertain now. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, instructs the scripture. This transformation occurs not through external effort, but through the deliberate revision of your inner assumptions. For consciousness is the one and only reality, and your assumptions determine the state of that consciousness. Tonight, I will reveal the art of assumption, how to use your divine gift of imagination to manifest anything you desire. Not as something to be achieved through struggle or toil, but as something to be appropriated through the power of consciousness itself. The fundamental all-ado. The fundamental law of consciousness can be stated simply: consciousness is the only reality. All phenomenal circumstances, conditions, and events of your life are but the outward picturings of inner states of consciousness. As within, so without, declared the ancient Hermetic text. This is not mere poetry, but cosmic law. The world you experience is forever mirroring back to you your own states of consciousness. This mirror never lies, never distorts, but reflects with perfect fidelity the assumptions you hold to be true. When you declare, I am poor, I am unloved, I am unworthy, you are making an assumption about your being, and that assumption persisted in will harden into fact. Likewise, when you dare to assume, I am wealthy, I am loved, I am worthy, these assumptions too will objectify themselves in your world. Many seek to change their lives by manipulating effects, by struggling against external conditions. This is folly, for the outer world is but shadow. You cannot change your reflection by attacking the mirror. You must change what is being reflected. The only place you can exercise genuine power is within your own consciousness. Change the assumption, and you change the reflection. The outer must conform to the inner. This is law. The creative power of imagination. Your imagination is not a faculty for daydreaming or escapism. It is the very workshop wherein you fashion the patterns of your existence. In scripture, it is called the Son of God, for it's through imagination that God, pure consciousness, performs his creative acts. Man is all imagination, I tell you, and God is man, and exists in us, and we in him. This divine imagination is the Redeemer, the Savior of which the scriptures speak. Not a man who lived 2,000 years ago, but the creative power that dwells within you now. When you imagine you are performing the most divine function of your being, through imagination you can transcend the limitations of physical sense and enter into states of consciousness that physical effort could never achieve. Through imagination you can be and do and have anything. Consider a simple experiment. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in a place other than where you now sit. Make it vivid. Feel the temperature, smell the aromas, hear the sounds of this imagined place. In that moment, where are you? Though your body remains in your chair, your consciousness is elsewhere. And consciousness, being the only reality, means that you are, in that moment, actually there in the state you are imagining. This same principle applies to states of wealth, of health, of love, of achievement. To imagine yourself wealthy is to occupy the state of wealth in consciousness. Persist in this state, and the outer circumstances must reshape themselves to match this inner reality. The art of assumption? Now we come to the practical application of this great truth. How does one use the power of assumption to manifest desires? First, clarify what you would like to be. Not what you think is possible based on your past or present circumstances, but what you would love to be if all limitations were removed. Second, construct an imaginal scene that implies the fulfillment of this desire. If you seek wealth, what scene would naturally follow if you were wealthy? Perhaps the congratulations of a friend, or the feeling of writing a generous check without concern for your balance. If you seek health, what would you be doing if you were perfectly well? If you seek love, what intimate moment would exist if your love were fulfilled? Third, and this is crucial, enter a state akin to sleep where the critical faculties of your mind are subdued. In this drowsy state, enact your imaginal scene. Do not merely visualize it as a picture outside yourself, but step into it as a participant. Feel it as real. Experience the textures, the sounds, the emotions of your seeing. Fourth, repeat this imaginal act until it bears the feeling of reality. When your imaginal scene feels as solid and real as any physical experience, you have successfully assumed the state of your wish fulfilled. The secret is to persist until your assumption has the feel of reality. It matters not how long this takes, a day, a week, a month. What matters is the feeling of naturalness. When your desired state feels more real than your physical circumstances, the die is cast. Your physical reality must then conform to this new assumption. An assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Remember these words. The falsity of your assumption is only relative to your present physical circumstances. In the realm of consciousness, where all things truly exist, your assumption is already fact. By persisting in it, you allow it to harden into physical fact as well. The Sabbath of consciousness. Once you have attained the feeling of your wish fulfilled, once your assumption feels natural, you enter what Scripture calls the Sabbath. This is not a day of the week, but a state of consciousness. It is the rest that follows completed work. In this Sabbath state, you cease all effort, all anxiety, all concern for your desire. Why? Because in consciousness the work is done. To continue to seek or strive would be to deny the truth of your assumption, because that you do not have what you have claimed in consciousness. Many fail in their manifestations because they do not honor the Sabbath. They perform their imaginal act, but then continue to think and act from the old state. They continue to see lack where they should see fulfillment, illness where they should see health, loneliness where they should see love. The Sabbath demands faith, not faith in some external power, but faith in the reality of your own consciousness. The Father and I are one, said the Christ. Your consciousness, the Father, and your imagination, the Son, are one creative power. Trust this power. Rest in the knowledge that what you have assumed in consciousness must, by cosmic law, objectify itself. During this Sabbath, you live from your assumption, not for it. You do not anxiously await its manifestation. You live as though it has already manifested. This subtle shift in consciousness is what separates those who manifest their desires from those who remain forever seeking. The Allah of revision. Let us speak now of revision, a most powerful application of the law of assumption. Your past, contrary to common belief, is not fixed. It is fluid, subject to the power of consciousness, just as your future is. Each night before sleep, review the events of your day. Any event that was less than perfect, revise it in your imagination. See it not as it occurred, but as you would have wished it to occur. Feel the naturalness, the reality of this revised scene. This practice serves two profound purposes. First, it trains your creative faculty to reshape reality according to your desires. Second, it actually rewrites the patterns in consciousness that would otherwise perpetuate undesirable conditions. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. This is not the promise of an external savior, but the revelation of your own power to revise the past through the faculty of imagination. Remember always that time is a construct of consciousness. Past, present, and future exist simultaneously in the eternal now. By revising the past in imagination, you alter the patterns that extend into what you perceive as future. Many wonder how this can be. How can imagining an event differently change what has already occurred? The answer lies in understanding that nothing has already occurred in the realm of consciousness. All events, past, present, and future, are simply states of consciousness, accessible and alterable through the power of imagination. The pruning shears of revision. Revision acts as pruning shears on the branches of your manifestation. Just as a gardener prunes a plant to direct its growth, so you prune your consciousness through revision to direct the manifestation of your desires. When you revise an unpleasant encounter with a colleague, transforming it in imagination to a harmonious exchange, you are pruning away a branch of consciousness that would have borne bitter fruit. In its place, you graft a new branch that will bear sweet fruit. This practice requires discipline, for the mind naturally gravitates toward what has been experienced through the senses. Yet, With persistence, you will find that your revised version begins to feel more real than the original experience. When this occurs, you have successfully altered the pattern in consciousness. Apply revision not only to recent events, but to formative experiences from your distant past. Those childhood traumas, those early rejections or failures, all can be revised in consciousness. See them not as they seem to occur, but as you would have wished them to occur. Feel the emotional relief of this revision. Persist until the revised version displaces the original in your emotional memory. By faithful practice of revision, you literally recreate your world. For your world is nothing more than the objectification of the sum total of your conscious and subconscious assumptions. The tale of two beliefs. Consider two individuals facing identical circumstances. Both have lost their employment. Both have bills to pay and families to support. Yet one falls into despair while the other maintains an unshakable confidence. What separates these two? Nothing but their assumptions. The first assumes that loss of employment means hardship, struggle, perhaps even ruin. And so that assumption hardens into fact, and hardship follows hardship. The second assumes that this apparent setback is but the clearing of the way for something better. This one assumes abundance regardless of temporary conditions. And so doors open, opportunities appear. And abundance manifests not despite the loss of employment, but because consciousness cannot be bound by external circumstance. I tell you this tale not to suggest that mere positive thinking will resolve your problems. No, what I propose is far more fundamental. It is not about superimposing positive thoughts over negative circumstances. It is about recognizing that circumstances themselves have no meaning, no power, except that which your assumption gives them. When you truly grasp this, you will never again be a victim of circumstance. You will know yourself as the creator of circumstance, and in that knowing lies freedom beyond measure. The law of identical harvest. As you sow, so shall you reap. This ancient truth speaks not of external actions, but of the seeds planted in consciousness. Your assumptions are these seeds, and they must, by cosmic law, bear fruit after their kind. If you plant assumptions of lack, you will harvest lack. If you plant assumptions of abundance, you will harvest abundance. This is not subject to your belief in it, just as gravity does not require your belief to operate. It is simply the way the universe is structured. The seeds you plant in consciousness today will bear fruit in your tomorrows. There is no escape from this law, no exception to it. Your current harvest, the conditions of your present life, were sown by your past assumptions, conscious or unconscious. But take heart, for just as a farmer who has planted one crop can plant another in the next season, so you can plant new assumptions today, regardless of what you have planted before. The soil of consciousness is eternally fertile, ready to receive whatever seeds you choose to plant. If your current harvest displeases you, do not waste time in regret or self-condemnation. These are useless expenditures of consciousness. Instead, plant new seeds through new assumptions. Assume the best, the highest, the most noble, and that is what you will harvest in turn. The secret of feeling. The secret of effective assumption lies in feeling. Your assumption must be drenched in feeling to take root in consciousness. Intellectual acceptance is not enough. You must feel the reality of your assumption. Consider how you feel about the facts of your life, your name, your family relationships, your home. There is a distinct feeling of mindness, of reality, that accompanies these facts. This same feeling must accompany your assumption if it is to harden into fact. How do you achieve this feeling? Through the consistent practice of living from your assumption. When you assume you are wealthy, ask yourself, how would I feel if this were true? How would I walk, talk, plan my day? What thoughts would occupy my mind? Then embody these feelings and thoughts. At first, this may seem like self-deception. But remember, what you are calling reality is itself nothing more than the precipitation of past assumptions. You are not lying to yourself. You are exercising your divine prerogative to choose which truth you will live from. With practice, your new assumption will develop the feeling of naturalness. And when it feels as natural to be your desired self as it once felt to be your former self, the transformation in your outer world will follow with mathematical precision. The dimensionality of assumption. Your assumption exists. in multiple dimensions of being. At the most surface level, there is intellectual assumption, the mere thought that something is true. Deeper is emotional assumption, the feeling that something is true. Deepest of all is what I call bodily assumption, the cellular knowing that something is true. To manifest your desire, your assumption must penetrate to this deepest level. It must become so much a part of you that every cell of your being vibrates with its truth. This is what Scripture means by believing with the heart. How do you achieve this depth of assumption? Through persistence and devotion to your imaginal acts. Through revising contrary thoughts and feelings the moment they arise. Through living, breathing, and having your being in the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. When your assumption reaches this dimension of bodily knowing, manifestation is not merely probable, it is inevitable. For at this level, you have truly become what you desire to be. And the outer world can only reflect this inner transformation. The level of detachment. A paradox confronts many who attempt to apply the law of assumption. The more desperately you desire something, the more you affirm its absence, and thus the more difficult its manifestation becomes. The solution to this paradox lies in what I call detachment. Not detachment from your desire, but detachment from the anxiety of its fulfillment. You must desire with passion yet possess with indifference. When you assume you already have what you desire, anxiety dissolves. There is no need to be anxious about receiving what you already possess. This state of consciousness desiring without anxiety is the fertile ground in which manifestation thrives. Practice detachment by remembering that your desire in consciousness is already fulfilled. The only waiting is for your inner assumption to translate itself into outer circumstances. And this translation is governed by divine timing, not by your anxiety or effort. Detachment also means releasing the how of manifestation. Many block their desires by insisting they must come through a particular channel or by particular means. True detachment says, this or something better, in divine timing and by divine means. The compound interest of assumption. Each time you successfully assume a state and manifest a desire, you strengthen your faith in the law. This faith then makes your next assumption more powerful, more deeply felt, more swiftly manifested. This is the compound interest of spiritual practice. Just as money invested earns interest, which, when reinvested, earns more interest, so your successful applications of the law of assumption earn spiritual interest, which, when reinvested in new assumptions, yields greater and swifter manifestations. Those who appear to manifest effortlessly have simply accumulated this spiritual capital. They have proven the law to themselves so completely that doubt no longer dilutes their assumptions. You too can accumulate this capital by beginning with small, believable assumptions. As these manifest, use the increase to fuel larger assumptions. In time, you'll find yourself capable of assumptions that would have seemed impossible to your former self. The neutralization of negative states. One of negative assumptions that seem to cling to consciousness despite your best efforts. For these, I offer the practice of neutralization. When a negative thought or feeling arises, do not fight it. Fighting gives it power, validity. Instead, observe it dispassionately. Say to yourself, this thought has no power except that which I give it. I now withdraw that power. Then deliberately assume the opposite state. If fear rises, consciously enter a state of courage. If lack presents itself, immediately assume abundance. This active assumption of the opposite state neutralizes the negative and establishes the positive in its place. With consistent practice, you will find that negative states lose their grip on your consciousness. They may still arise, but they will pass through like clouds in the sky, unable to take root and manifest in your world. The bridge of incidence. Between your present state and the fulfillment of your desire lies what I call the bridge of incidence, a series of seemingly unrelated events that lead to your manifestation. You need not concern yourself with the construction of this bridge. Your only responsibility is to maintain the assumption of your wish fulfilled. The bridge will form itself, often in ways your conscious mind could never have devised. Many abandon their assumptions because the bridge of incidence does not match their expectations. They assume wealth, then dismiss a surprise phone call from an old acquaintance, because it doesn't seem related to money. Yet that call might have been the first plank in the bridge to their financial abundance. Trust the wisdom of consciousness to build your bridge. It has access to infinite intelligence and can coordinate countless factors beyond your awareness. Your task is simply to maintain your end. Point the consciousness of your wish fulfilled and allow the bridge to form naturally between your present and that destination. The old law of correspondence. As above, so below, as within, so without. This ancient Hermetic axiom expresses the law of correspondence, which underlies all manifestation. Your inner world must correspond to your desired outer world. If you seek order in your environment, you must first establish order in your consciousness. If you seek love in your relationships, you must first embody love in your consciousness. If you seek abundance in your finances, you must first cultivate the consciousness of abundance within. This correspondence is not causal but identical. Your outer world does not reflect your inner world. It is your inner world, expressed in the language of form and circumstance. Just as steam and ice are the same substance in different forms, so your inner and outer worlds are the same substance consciousness in different expressions. When you truly comprehend this law, you will cease trying to manipulate the outer world directly. You will instead devote yourself to the transformation of consciousness, knowing with absolute certainty that the outer must correspond to the inner by immutable law. The art of prayer. True prayer is not petition or supplication. It is not begging an external deity for favors. Prayer, rightly understood, is the assumption of the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. Whatsoever things ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. This scripture reveals the true nature of effective prayer. It is the act of assuming the feeling of your desire is already fulfilled. When you pray for abundance, do not beg to be made wealthy. Instead, enter the consciousness of wealth. Feel the relief, the security, the freedom of wealth as a present fact. This feeling assumption is your prayer, and it cannot go unanswered because consciousness is the only reality. The answer to prayer is not the granting of a request by an external power. It is the natural manifestation in the outer of what has been established in consciousness. As you assume in consciousness, so will you experience in the outer world. This is not miraculous intervention, but cosmic law, the gestation of assumption. Just as a seed planted in soil requires time to germinate and grow, so your assumption requires time to manifest in the visible world. This interval between the planting of your assumption and its visible manifestation I call the gestation period. During this gestation, circumstances may appear to contradict your assumption. This is the supreme test of your faith in the law. Will you abandon your assumption when the evidence of your senses denies it? Or will you maintain your assumption regardless of appearances? Those who manifest successfully are those who understand this gestation period and respect its necessity. They do not uproot their seed to check if it is growing. They do not abandon their assumption because it has not yet visibly manifested. They maintain their assumption through the darkness of gestation, confident in the law that brings all things to harvest in their appointed time. The length of this gestation varies according to the nature of your desire, the strength of your assumption, and the degree to which your subconscious accepts your new concept of self. Some manifestations occur almost instantly, others require months or even years of faithful assumption. But be assured of this, no sincere assumption, maintained with faith through the gestation period, can fail to manifest. This is law, not chance or caprice. The cultivation of awareness. To master the art of assumption, you must cultivate awareness of your thoughts, feelings, inner conversations, and reactions. For it is these that reveal your actual assumptions, which may differ from what you believe you are assuming. Many claim to be assuming wealth, while their inner conversation is filled with thoughts of limitation. Many declare they are assuming health, while they constantly rehearse symptoms and medical concerns in their minds. These conflicting assumptions neutralize each other, resulting in no significant change. Become aware of your actual assumptions by monitoring your spontaneous thoughts, especially upon waking and before sleep. Notice your reactions to daily events. These reveal the assumptions that are actually operating in your consciousness. Once aware, you can consciously revise these assumptions. Replace thoughts of limitation with thoughts of abundance. Substitute fear with confidence, resentment with forgiveness, jealousy with appreciation. This is not suppression, but conscious transformation of the seeds you are planting in the soil of consciousness. The outer search and the inner knowing. Many spend their lives in an outer search for fulfillment, seeking the right job, the right relationship, the right investment, the right location. This outer search is destined for disappointment, for what you seek is not outside you but within. The kingdom of heaven is within you. All that you could ever desire, all the love, abundance, health, and fulfillment exists now within your consciousness. Your task is not to obtain these states, but to appropriate them through the power of assumption. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are not reaching for something external, but claiming what is already yours. This is the inner knowing that makes the outer search unnecessary. Those who live from this inner knowing move through life with quiet confidence. They do not struggle to make things happen, for they know that what is established in consciousness must manifest by cosmic law. Their actions flow not from desperate striving, but from inspired guidance, for consciousness itself orchestrates the bridge of incidents that leads to manifestation. The dynamics of faith. Faith is not a commodity to be acquired, but a state to be entered. It is not belief in something external, but consciousness of something internal. True faith is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you assume the feeling of your desire, you are exercising faith in its highest form. You are demonstrating faith, not in a future possibility, but in a present reality, the reality of your consciousness as the one creative power. Many seek faith as though it were a magic ingredient to be added to their manifestation recipe. But faith is the recipe itself. It is the assumption of the reality of your desiring consciousness before its appearance in the outer world. Those who say, if only I had more faith, I could manifest my desires, misunderstand the nature of faith. You do not need more faith. You need more faithful application of the faith you already possess. You need more consistent, more devoted assumption of the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. This faith, this assumption, is not something you do once and then await results. It is a state you occupy continuously until your desire manifests. It is a living in the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, a dwelling in the secret place of the Most High, your own wonderful human emanation, the supreme surrender. The final secret of effective assumption is what I call the supreme surrender. This is not surrender to external forces or circumstances, but surrender to the wisdom of your consciousness. Many approach manifestation with rigid expectations of how their desire must be fulfilled, through what channels, by what means, and in what time frame. This rigidity blocks the infinite intelligence of consciousness, which may have prepared channels of manifestation far superior to those you have imagined. The supreme surrender says, I know what I desire to be, but I surrender the means and timing of its manifestation to the wisdom of consciousness itself. This surrender opens the floodgates of manifestation, allowing your desire to flow into expression through the most effective and appropriate channels. Those who manifest with seeming effortlessness have mastered this surrender. They maintain the consciousness of their wish fulfilled while releasing all anxiety about the how and when of its manifestation. They trust the bridge of incidents to form perfectly, led by an intelligence far greater than the reasoning mind. The birth of the new self. When your assumption has been maintained faithfully through the gestation period, you experience what can only be called a rebirth. The old self with its limitations and problems dies. A new self embodying your assumption is born. This rebirth is not merely psychological, but ontological, a fundamental shift in your state of being. You do not simply think differently or feel differently, you are different. And because you are different, your world must be different to match this new state of being. The scripture speaks of being born again, not of flesh but of spirit. This spiritual rebirth is the transformation of consciousness that occurs when your assumption completely displaces your former concept of self. It is the putting off of the old man and the putting on of the new. Many seek to improve their circumstances while maintaining their old concept of self. This is futile. You cannot be the same and have a different world. You must become different in consciousness, and then by law your world will reflect this difference. the immortality of consciousness. Let us speak finally of the greatest implication of the law of assumption, the immortality of consciousness itself. If consciousness is the only reality, and all else is its outpicturing, then consciousness cannot be subject to birth and death. It is eternal, infinite, unchangeable in its essence. What changes are the states that consciousness occupies, not consciousness itself. When you assume a state in consciousness, you are not creating something new, but entering something eternal. Every possible state already exists in the infinity of consciousness. Your assumption is not creation, but selection, choosing which of these eternal states you will occupy and thus experience. This understanding liberates you from the fear of death. For what dies is never consciousness, but only a particular expression of it. It liberates you from the limitations of time. For in consciousness, all times past, present, and future exists simultaneously in the eternal now. When you assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you are not projecting a future possibility, but entering a present actuality in consciousness. The time lag between this assumption and its physical manifestation is not the creation of your desire, but the transition of an eternal spiritual reality into temporal physical expression. The promise and the Eli. Throughout the scriptures, two great themes intertwine: the promise and the law. The promise is the assurance of your ultimate awakening to your true identity as God individualized. The law is the principle by which you manifest your desires while on the journey to that awakening. Tonight I have shared with you the law of assumption by which you can manifest anything you desire. This is not the end of your spiritual journey, but a means by which you can journey in comfort and joy. Use this law. Test it in the laboratory of your experience. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Persist through the gestation period and watch as your assumption hardens into physical fact. Do this not once, but consistently, proving to yourself the reality of this principle. As you do so, you will gain more than the fulfillment of your desires. You will gain insight into the nature of consciousness itself. You will begin to understand your own divine identity as the operant power in the universe. And in time, this understanding will lead you to the fulfillment of the promise, the realization that you are God himself individualized for the purpose of experiencing his infinite being in finite expression. The invitation to experience. And so, my beloved friends, I leave you with this invitation. Do not believe what I have told you tonight. Experience it. For truth is never truly known until it is experienced. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Persist in that assumption. Watch as the law confirms itself in the objectification of your assumption. Then you will know, not as one who has been persuaded by argument, but as one who has encountered reality. The power I speak of is not outside you. It is not to be worshipped or beseeched. It is your own wonderful human imagination, God in action within you. Use it lovingly, use it consciously, use it faithfully, and it will transform your world from the inside out. For imagination creates reality. Assumption hardens into fact. And consciousness is the one and only reality. Choose wisely the assumptions you entertain, for they will become the story of your life. Choose the highest, the noblest, the most loving assumptions, and you will experience the highest, noblest, most loving reality. This is the law and the prophets. This is the secret of the ages, hidden from the wise and prudent, and revealed unto babes, those willing to approach life with the innocent wonder of assuming their heart's desires with unwavering faith. Tonight you have received the key to the kingdom. Use it. Enter. Possess. For the kingdom of your fulfilled desires awaits only your assumption of its reality in consciousness. The world is yourself pushed out. Change yourself and you change your world. This is the great truth upon which all successful living depends. This is the power of assumption, the creative power of your own wonderful human imagination. This principle, when fully understood and applied with unwavering faith, will elevate you to heights you've scarcely imagined possible. The principle I speak of is encapsulated in these simple yet profound words: act as if you are the best. No one is better than you. Now you may be thinking, Neville, isn't this arrogance? Isn't this contrary to humility and modesty? And to that I say, my dear friends, you have been misled by the limitations of your physical senses and societal conditioning. For what I speak of is not ego-driven arrogance, but rather a profound understanding of your true nature, your divine essence. Consider for a moment the nature of the universe itself. Is it not a manifestation of perfection, of divine order? And are you not an integral part of this universe, a unique expression of the divine? When you truly grasp this truth, you will understand that acting as if you are the best is not arrogance, but an alignment with your true divine nature. Let us delve deeper into this concept as it applies to your life, to your consciousness, which is the one and only reality. When you act as if you are the best, you are making a powerful declaration to your subconscious mind and to the universe at large. You are stating with absolute conviction that you embody the highest and best qualities, that you are capable of greatness in all areas of your life. This, my friends, is the secret to unlocking your full potential, to manifesting your deepest desires and grandest dreams. For your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner beliefs and assumptions. When you assume the feeling of being the best, when you act from a place of unshakable confidence and self-assurance, you are reshaping your entire world. Let us explore this principle through the lens of various aspects of life. In matters of career and professional achievement, many hold themselves back, doubting their abilities, comparing themselves unfavorably to others. But I tell you, this self-doubt is the very thing that creates the experience of mediocrity and failure. When you act as if you are the best in your field, when you carry yourself with the confidence of a top performer, you are telling your subconscious mind, I am capable of greatness. I am worthy of success. Imagine, if you will, a musician preparing for a performance. If they step onto the stage doubting their abilities, comparing themselves to other musicians, how can they possibly give their best performance? But if they step onto that stage fully embodying the belief that they are the best, that no one can play this piece better than they can, their performance will be transformed. They will play with a confidence, a passion, a mastery that will captivate their audience. The same principle applies to every area of your life. Whether you are a business person closing a deal, a parent raising a child, an athlete competing in a sport, or an artist creating a masterpiece, when you act as if you are the best, you tap into a wellspring of power and ability that you may not have even known existed within you. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I'm just starting out in my field. How can I act as if I'm the best when I have so much to learn? To this I say, it is not about denying the need for growth and learning. It is about assuming the state of the person you wish to become. When you act as if you are already the best, you accelerate your growth. You attract opportunities for learning and advancement. You become a magnet for success. Remember the biblical injunction, let the weak say, I am strong. This is not about denial or deception. It is about aligning yourself with your highest potential, your divine nature. When you say, I am strong from a place of weakness, you are not lying to yourself. You are declaring your true nature, calling forth the strength that already exists within you. Let us now turn our attention to the realm of relationships and personal interactions. Many approach relationships from a place of insecurity, always seeking validation, always comparing themselves to others. But I tell you, the secret to magnetic, fulfilling relationships, to act as if you are the best, to carry yourself with unshakable self-assurance and self-love. Think of self-love and confidence as a fragrance you wear. When you truly love and believe in yourself, when you act as if you are the best version of yourself, you radiate an energy that attracts others to you. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and self-assurance. By acting as if you are the best, you not only transform your own experience of life, but also inspire and uplift those around you. In the realm of personal growth and self-improvement, the same principle applies. There are those who constantly berate themselves for their shortcomings, who focus on their flaws and limitations. But I tell you, this self-criticism is counterproductive. When you act as if you are the best, when you focus on your strengths and potential rather than your perceived weaknesses, you create the mental and emotional conditions for rapid growth and transformation. Consider the great achievers throughout history. Did they not act as if they were the best, even before their greatness was recognized by the world? Did they not have an unshakable belief in their abilities, their vision, their potential? It was this very belief, this acting as if they were the best, that allowed them to persevere in the face of challenges, to push beyond perceived limitations, to achieve what others thought impossible. Now, let us address a common concern that arises when discussing this principle. Many fear that acting as if they are the best will lead to complacency, to a lack of drive for improvement. But understand this: true greatness, true mastery is not a destination, but a journey. When you act as if you are the best, you are not claiming perfection or completion. You are aligning yourself with your highest potential, committing yourself to continuous growth and improvement. Moreover, when you truly embody this principle, you understand that being the best means constantly striving to be better. It means setting higher standards for yourself, pushing your boundaries, expanding your capabilities. The true master, the one who acts as if they are the best, is always a student, always seeking to learn, to grow, to evolve. Let me share with you a personal experience that illustrates the power of this principle. When I first began my career as a lecturer and teacher of these universal truths, I was filled with self-doubt. I compared myself to other speakers, other teachers, always feeling that I fell short. But then I made a decision. I decided to act as if I were the best teacher of these principles, as if no one could convey these truths more effectively than I could. The transformation was immediate and profound. My lectures became more powerful, more impactful. My audience grew and I began to receive invitations to speak at larger venues. But more importantly, I found myself growing, evolving, deepening my understanding of these principles in ways I never had before. By acting as if I were the best, I called forth the best within me. And I continue to do so every day. This principle extends beyond individual achievement. It applies to every role you play in life. As a parent, act as if you are the best parent your child could possibly have. As a friend, act as if you are the most loyal, supportive friend anyone could ask for. As a citizen, act as if you are the most responsible, engaged member of your community. Consider for a moment the nature of your thoughts. Your thoughts are creative power, shaping your reality moment by moment. When you think thoughts of mediocrity, of not being good enough, you create experiences that reflect these beliefs. But when you consistently think thoughts of being the best, of excellence, of mastery, you set in motion forces that will bring these experiences into your life. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, what about humility? Doesn't the Bible teach us to be humble? And to this I say, true humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less. When you act as if you are the best, you are not placing yourself above others. You are simply recognizing and honoring the divine potential within you, the same divine potential that exists within all beings. Think of yourself as a unique instrument in the grand orchestra of the universe. To act as if you are the best is to play your part to the fullest, to contribute your unique tone to the cosmic symphony. It is not about being better than others, but about being the best version of yourself, about fully expressing your divine nature. Let us now explore how you can begin to apply this principle in your daily life. Start by observing your self-talk, the inner conversation you have with yourself. How often do you downplay your abilities, doubt your worth, compare yourself unfavorably to others? Make a conscious decision to change this inner dialogue. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you deeply admire and respect. As you go about your day, carry yourself as if you are the best at what you do. Stand tall, move with purpose, speak with conviction. Act as if success is not just possible, but inevitable. Act as if you are already living your ideal life, as if you have already achieved your grandest dreams. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. As you cultivate this feeling of being the best within yourself, your outer world will begin to reflect this belief back to you. You will find yourself attracting opportunities that align with your newfound sense of self-worth. You will notice people responding to you differently, treating you with greater respect and admiration. But here's a crucial point. Do not act as if you are the best out of a need to prove yourself to others or to gain their approval. Act as if you are the best because it is the truth of your being, because it aligns you with your divine nature. The opinions of others are irrelevant. What matters is your own conviction, your own unwavering belief in yourself. As you embrace this principle, you may find that your entire perspective on life begins to shift. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable will appear as opportunities for growth and self-expression. Failures will no longer devastate you, for you will see them as valuable lessons on your journey of continuous improvement. Success will no longer surprise you, for you will see it as the natural result of your alignment with your true divine nature. Consider the words of Jesus, "Be ye perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect." This is not a command to achieve some impossible standard of perfection. It is a reminder of your true nature, your divine essence. To act as if you are the best is to align yourself with this divine perfection, to allow it to express itself through you in all that you do. Now let us address another aspect of this principle, the impact it has on your ability to serve others. When you act as if you are the best, when you fully step into your power and potential, you become capable of making a greater positive impact on the world around you. You become a beacon of inspiration for others, a living example of what is possible when one fully embraces their divine nature. Many hold themselves back from fully expressing their gifts, from stepping into their power, out of a misguided sense of humility or a fear of outshining others. But I tell you, by dimming your light, by playing small, you are not serving anyone. The world needs you to be your best self, to fully express your unique gifts and talents. By acting as if you are the best, you give others permission to do the same. Let us now turn our attention to the realm of creativity and self-expression. When you act as if you are the best, you free yourself from the paralyzing effects of self-doubt and comparison. You allow your unique creative voice to emerge, unencumbered by fears of judgment or criticism. Think of the great artists, inventors, and innovators throughout history. They did not create their masterpieces by doubting their abilities or constantly comparing themselves to others. They acted as if they were the best, as if their vision and their voice were uniquely valuable and worthy of expression. And in doing so, they brought forth works that continue to inspire and transform the world. You too have within you a wellspring of creativity, a unique perspective, a distinctive voice. When you act as if you are the best, you give yourself permission to fully express this creativity. You silence the inner critic that would hold you back, and you allow your true self to shine forth in all its brilliance. Now let us address a question that often arises when discussing this principle: what about competition? How can everyone be the best? And to this I say, true greatness is not about competing with others. It's about competing with yourself, about constantly striving to be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. When you act as if you are the best, you are not claiming superiority over others. You are simply committing to bringing your best self to every situation, to every interaction, to every task. You are declaring your intention to live up to your own highest standards, regardless of what others are doing. Moreover, when you truly embody this principle, you understand that there is abundance in the universe. There is room for everyone to be their best self, to fully express their unique gifts. Your success does not come at the expense of others. On the contrary, as you step into your greatness, you create more opportunities for others to do the same. As we delve deeper into this principle, let us consider its application in the face of adversity and challenges. Life will inevitably present you with obstacles, with moments of doubt and uncertainty. It is in these moments that acting as if you are the best becomes most crucial. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, how would the best version of myself handle this situation? Then act accordingly. Approach the challenge with confidence, with the unwavering belief that you have within you all the resources you need to overcome it. For in truth, every challenge is an opportunity for growth, for the further expression of your innate greatness. Consider the great leaders and visionaries who have changed the course of history. Did they not act as if they were the best, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds? Did they not carry themselves with unshakable confidence and conviction, even when the world doubted them? It was this very attitude, this acting as if they were the best, that allowed them to persevere and ultimately triumph. Now, let us at the common obstacle that prevents many from fully embracing this principle, the fear of failure. Many hold back from acting as if they are the best because they fear that if they fail, they will be exposed as frauds or imposters. But I tell you, this fear is based on a fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of success and failure. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is a part of success. When you act as if you are the best, you understand that every failure is a stepping stone to greater achievement, every setback an opportunity for growth. You approach failure not with fear, but with curiosity and a determination to learn and improve. Moreover, when you truly embody the principle of acting as if you are the best, you understand that your worth is not determined by external outcomes. You are inherently valuable, inherently worthy, simply by virtue of your existence. Your successes do not make you more worthy, and your failures do not make you less worthy. You are already the best, simply by being who you are. As you embrace this truth, as you act from this place of inherent worth and confidence, you will find yourself taking more risks, pursuing bigger dreams, stepping out of your comfort zone. For you will understand that the greatest risk is not in failing, but in never fully expressing your true potential. Let us now explore the relationship between acting as if you are the best and your life's purpose. Many people struggle to find their purpose, feeling lost or unfulfilled. But I tell you, your purpose is intrinsically linked to your unique gifts, to the best version of yourself. As you act as if you are the best, as you fully step into your power and potential, you naturally align with your deepest purpose. Your purpose is not something external to be found, but something internal to be expressed. As you act as if you are the best, as you bring your highest self to every situation, You will find a sense of fulfillment and meaning that cannot be achieved through half-hearted efforts or playing small. Consider the great change makers and innovators throughout history. They found their purpose not by doubting themselves or playing it safe, but by fully embracing their potential, by acting as if they were the best at what they did. In doing so, they not only changed the world, but experienced a profound sense of alignment and fulfillment. You too have within you the power to make a difference, to contribute something unique and valuable to the world. As you embrace the principle of acting as if you are the best, you will naturally align with this deeper purpose. You will find yourself drawn to opportunities that allow you to express your unique gifts, to make your highest contribution to the world. Now, as we near the conclusion of our discourse, I want to impress upon you the importance of persistence in applying this principle. Acting as if you are the best, living from a place of unshakable confidence and self-assurance may feel unnatural at first. You may encounter resistance, both from within yourself and from others who are uncomfortable with your newfound confidence. But I urge you to persist. Make acting as if you are the best a habit, a way of life. Start each day by asking yourself, how would the best version of myself approach this day? How can I bring my highest self to every interaction, every task? As you do this consistently, you will find it becoming easier, more natural. It will become not something you do, but who you are. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. The same power that created the universe flows through you. The same intelligence that orchestrates the dance of galaxies is at work in your life, guiding you towards the full expression of your divine nature. Trust in this power. Align yourself with it by maintaining the unwavering practice of acting as if you are the best. In closing, I want to leave you with this thought: the state of being the best, of living in alignment with your highest potential, is not something external to be achieved. It is a state of consciousness to be assumed. As you act as if you are the best, as you live from this state of unshakable confidence and self-assurance, you are not pretending or deceiving yourself. You are aligning with your true nature, your higher self, the divine within you that knows no limitations. So go forth, my dear friends, and act as if you are the best in all that you do. Carry yourself with the confidence of one who knows their true worth. Speak with the authority of one who is aligned with their divine nature. Act with the certainty of one who understands that they are a unique and valuable expression of the infinite. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. As you act as if you are the best, as you embody the state of confidence and self-assurance, you set in motion forces beyond your comprehension. You activate the law of assumption, drawing to yourself experiences that reflect your newfound sense of self-worth and capability. Let your every thought, word, and action spring from this new state of being. Let your inner conversation reflect the reality of being the best version of yourself. Speak to yourself and others as one who is fully aligned with their highest potential would speak. Carry yourself with the quiet confidence of one who knows that they are capable of greatness in all areas of life. And above all, have faith. Faith not as a mere belief, but as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Let your faith in your own inherent worth and capability be unshakable. For it is the very force that will move mountains and part seas to bring about the manifestation of your grandest dreams and deepest desires. As we conclude, I want you to take a moment to fully embrace this truth. Close your eyes, if you will, and feel the reality of being the best version of yourself. Feel the confidence, the self-assurance, the sense of purpose and alignment. Let it permeate every cell of your being. Breathe it in. Let it fill your lungs, your heart, your entire body. Now, with this feeling firmly established within you, go forth into your day. Let this feeling be the lens through which you view the world. Let it inform your every interaction, your every decision. For as you do so, you are literally reshaping your reality, molding it to match your inner vision of being the best. Remember, my dear friends, you are divine beings, co-creators with the infinite. The power to shape your reality lies within you. It always has, and it always will. By choosing to act as if you are the best, to live from a place of unshakable confidence and self-assurance, you are claiming this power, stepping into your divine birthright. So I say to you, with all the love and conviction in my heart, act as if you are the best, for in the deepest, truest sense, you already are. The greatness is within you. Claim it, embody it, express it, and watch in awe as your outer world transforms to match your inner reality of being the best version of yourself. Go now and create a life of unparalleled achievement and fulfillment through the practice of acting as if you are the best. For you are the operant power, the divine creative force, the I am presence in your world. And all things are possible to you. Blessings upon you all, and may your journey be filled with the joy of self-discovery and the sweet satisfaction of living in alignment with your highest potential. Imagine, if you will, that you are standing before a vast, intricate tapestry. This tapestry represents your life woven with threads of various hues and textures. Each thread symbolizes a choice, a decision, an action you have taken. Some threads shimmer with golden light, representing moments of clarity and right action. Others may appear dull or tangled, reflecting times when you've strayed from your true path. Now I want you to realize a profound truth. You are the weaver of this tapestry. With every thought, every belief, and every action you add to this magnificent work of art. The question that we must ask ourselves is this: are we weaving our tapestry with intention and purpose, or are we allowing external forces to guide our hand? To focus on yourself is not an act of selfishness, as some might believe. Rather, it is the highest form of responsibility. For how can you serve the world? How can you uplift others if you yourself are not standing on solid ground? How can you offer light if your own flame flickers weakly in the wind of others' opinions and expectations? Let me share with you a fundamental principle that has the power to transform your life. The outer world is a reflection of your inner state. Everything you see, everything you experience, is a manifestation of your consciousness. This means that to change your world, you must first change yourself. This, my dear friends, is why focusing on yourself is not just important, it is essential. But what does it truly mean to focus on yourself? It means to turn your attention inward, to become intimately acquainted with the landscape of your mind and the longings of your heart. It means to observe your thoughts, to question your beliefs, and to align your actions with your highest ideals. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a garden. In this garden grow the flowers of your desires, the trees of your long-held beliefs, and yes, sometimes the weeds of doubt and fear. To focus on yourself is to become the diligent gardener of this inner landscape. It is to nurture the plants that bring beauty and fruit to your life, and to uproot those that drain your energy and cloud your vision. Now let us turn our attention to the second part of our theme, choose the right thing to do. This, my friends, is where the true art of living lies. For life presents us with countless choices every day, from the seemingly insignificant to the profoundly life-altering. How do we navigate this sea of possibilities? How do we discern the right path among the many that stretch before us? The answer lies not in some external set of rules or societal expectations. No, the answer lies within you. It is found in the still, small voice of your intuition, in the quiet whispers of your heart. To choose the right thing is to align your actions with your true self, with the highest version of who you are meant to be. Consider for a moment the last time you made a decision that felt truly right. Perhaps it was a choice to pursue a passion, to help someone in need, or to stand up for what you believe in. Recall the sense of alignment, the feeling of rightness that accompanied that choice. That, my dear listeners, is your inner compass guiding you towards your true path. But here's a truth that many find uncomfortable. Sometimes the right thing to do is not the easy thing to do. Sometimes it requires courage, sacrifice, or stepping into the unknown. This is where many falter, where many choose the comfortable wrong over the difficult right. Yet, I tell you this, every time you choose the right thing, even when it's hard, you are weaving a golden thread into the tapestry of your life. You are strengthening your character, expanding your consciousness, and aligning yourself more closely with your divine purpose. Let me share with you a powerful technique to aid you in making right choices. When faced with a decision, close your eyes and imagine yourself having made each possible choice. See yourself living with the consequences of each decision. How do you feel in each scenario? Which version of yourself stands taller, shines brighter? This exercise harnesses the power of your imagination to guide you towards the right path. Remember, your imagination is not mere fantasy, it is the creative force of the universe expressing itself through you. By imaginatively experiencing the outcomes of your choices, you are tapping into a wisdom far greater than mere logic or reason. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, how can I focus on myself when I have so many responsibilities, so many people depending on me? To you, I say this. By focusing on yourself, by choosing the right thing to do, you become more capable of fulfilling those responsibilities, more able to support those who depend on you. Imagine a mighty oak tree. Its branches reach out, providing shade and shelter to many creatures. But what allows the oak to offer this support? It is its deep, strong roots, anchoring it firmly in the earth, drawing nourishment from the soil. You, my friends, are like this oak. By focusing on yourself, by nurturing your roots, you become strong enough to support not just yourself, but all those around you. Let us delve deeper into this concept of choosing the right thing to do. It's essential to understand that the right thing is not always clear-cut or universally defined. What is right for one person may not be right for another. The key lies in aligning your choices with your true self, your highest ideals, and your deepest values. Consider the story of a young artist I once knew. She had a secure job in a corporate office, one that provided financial stability and societal approval. Yet, every day she felt a part of herself wither away. The right choice for her was to leave that job and pursue her art full-time. To many, this seemed irresponsible, even foolish, but for her, it was the only path that allowed her to be true to herself. This brings us to an important point. Choosing the right thing often requires us to silence the noise of external expectations and societal conditioning. It demands that we tune in to our own inner voice, our own inner knowing. Imagine, if you will, that you are standing in the center of a great amphitheater. The seats are filled with all the people in your life, family, friends, colleagues, even strangers whose opinions you've internalized. They're all shouting their advice, their expectations, their judgments. Now, in the midst of this cacophony, can you hear your own voice? Can you discern your own true desires and values? This, my friends, is the challenge we face. To focus on ourselves and choose the right thing, we must learn to quiet this external noise. We must create space for silence, for introspection, for communion with our higher selves. But how do we do this in a world that seems to demand our constant attention and reaction? The answer lies in the power of your imagination and the practice of what I call mental dieting. Just as you are careful about what you put into your physical body, be vigilant about what you allow into your low intellectual emotional. Choose carefully what you read, what you watch, what conversations you engage in. Surround yourself with influences that uplift and inspire you, that remind you of your highest potential. Most importantly, practice the art of mental rehearsal. Each night, as you lay in bed, instead of rehashing the events of the day or worrying about tomorrow, use your imagination to rehearse being the person you aspire to be. See yourself making choices aligned with your highest self. Feel the satisfaction and joy of living true to your values. This mental rehearsal is not mere daydreaming. It is the active shaping of your consciousness, and therefore the shaping of your future experiences. For remember, the outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. Now, let us address a common misconception. Some believe that focusing on oneself and choosing the right thing to do is a one-time decision, a single moment of clarity and commitment. But I tell you this, it is a continuous process, a moment-by-moment choice to align with your highest self. Imagine you are sailing a ship across a vast ocean. Your destination, your vision of your ideal self and life is the North Star guiding your journey. But the journey itself is not a straight line. There are winds and currents that may push you off course. The act of focusing on yourself and choosing the right thing is the constant adjustment of your sails, the vigilant steering that keeps you moving in the right direction. There will be times when you lose sight of your star, when the skies are clouded by doubt, fear, or external pressures. In these moments, remember this, the star has not disappeared. It is always there, even when you cannot see it. Your task is to keep faith, to hold steady, and to wait for the clouds to part. This brings us to a crucial aspect of focusing on yourself and choosing the right thing, the power of persistence. The right path is not always the easy path. It may require you to face your fears, to step out of your comfort zone, to stand firm in the face of opposition. Consider the life of any great individual who has made a significant impact on the world. Whether it's an artist who revolutionized their field, a scientist who made groundbreaking discoveries, or a leader who fought for justice and equality. Their paths were rarely smooth or straightforward. They faced setbacks, criticism, and moments of doubt. But they persisted. They remained focused on their vision, on their inner knowing of what was right. You, my dear listeners, have this same power within you. The power to persist, to keep choosing the right thing, even when it's difficult, even when you can't yet see the results of your choices. But persistence does not mean rigid stubbornness. It does not mean clinging to a path that your heart tells you is no longer right. True persistence is coupled with flexibility and wisdom. It's the ability to adjust your course as you grow and evolve, while always moving towards your highest vision of yourself. Now let us explore another vital aspect of focusing on yourself and choosing the right thing, the practice of self-reflection. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's easy to lose touch with ourselves, to act on autopilot, reacting to circumstances rather than consciously choosing our path. Self-reflection is the antidote to this unconscious living. It is the practice of regularly turning our attention inward, of examining our thoughts, feelings, and actions with honesty and compassion. Imagine you are standing before a clear, still lake. The surface of the lake is like a perfect mirror, reflecting the sky and the surrounding landscape. This lake represents your consciousness. When it's cluttered with the debris of unchecked thoughts and emotions, its surface becomes turbulent, the reflection distorted. But when you take the time to still your mind, to clear away the mental clutter, your consciousness becomes like the calm lake, perfectly reflecting your true self and the world around you. Set aside time each day for this practice of self-reflection. It could be through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in quiet contemplation. Ask yourself, are my actions aligned with my values? Am I making choices that serve my highest good and the good of others? What fears or limiting beliefs are holding me back from choosing the right path? This practice of self-reflection is not about judgment or self-criticism. It's about gaining clarity, about becoming intimately acquainted with the landscape of your own mind and heart. For how can you choose the right thing if you don't truly know yourself? As you engage in this practice, you may uncover aspects of yourself that you've been avoiding or denying. You may find old wounds that need healing, limiting beliefs that need challenging. This, my friends, is the gold hidden within the challenge of focusing on yourself. For in facing these shadowy aspects, in bringing them into the light of your awareness, you reclaim parts of yourself that have been lost or suppressed. Imagine each of these realizations, each moment of self-discovery as a key. These keys have the power to unlock doors within you, doors to greater authenticity, to deeper self-love, to more aligned choices. Now let us turn our attention to another crucial aspect of choosing the right thing, the cultivation of wisdom. Wisdom is not the same as knowledge. One can accumulate vast amounts of information without gaining true wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to see clearly, to discern truth from illusion, to understand the deeper currents of life. How do we cultivate this wisdom? It begins with openness. Openness to new ideas, to different perspectives, to the possibility that what we currently believe may not be the whole truth. It requires a willingness to question our assumptions, to look beyond the surface of things. Imagine your mind as a vast library. Each book in this library represents a belief, an idea, a perspective you hold. To cultivate wisdom is to regularly browse through this library, to take books off the shelves and examine them with fresh eyes. Some books you may choose to keep, finding that they still hold truth and value for you. Others you may decide to discard, realizing they no longer serve you. And always you remain open to adding new books, new ideas that expand your understanding. This cultivation of wisdom is essential in choosing the right thing to do. For the right choice is not always the obvious one, not always the one that aligns with conventional wisdom or societal expectations. Sometimes the right choice requires us to see beyond appearances to understand the deeper implications of our actions. Consider the parable of the Chinese farmer. When his horse ran away, his neighbor said, "What bad luck." The farmer replied, "Maybe when the horse returned, bringing with it a wild horse." The neighbor said, "What good luck?" The farmer replied, "Maybe when the farmer's son broke his leg trying to ride the wild horse." The neighbor said, "What bad luck?" The farmer replied. "Maybe when war broke out and the son was spared from conscription due to his broken leg." The neighbor said, "What good luck?" And again, the farmer replied, "Maybe." This parable illustrates the wisdom of suspending judgment, of recognizing that we often cannot see the full implications of events or choices in the moment. It teaches us to approach life with openness and equanimity, to trust in a larger process even when we can't see where it's leading. This brings us to another crucial point in focusing on yourself and choosing the right thing: the importance of trust. Trust in yourself, in your inner guidance, and in the unfolding of life itself. Many of us have been conditioned to doubt ourselves, to look outside for validation and direction. We've been taught to trust experts, authorities, societal norms more than our own inner knowing. But I tell you this, within you is a wisdom that surpasses all external knowledge. It is the wisdom of your higher self, your connection to the divine source of all creation. Trusting this inner wisdom doesn't mean ignoring external information or advice. It means filtering everything through your own discernment, your own felt sense of truth. It means being willing to stand in your truth even when it goes against the grain of popular opinion. Imagine you are standing at a crossroads. There are signposts pointing in different directions, each claiming to show the right way. There are voices all around you, some encouraging, some warning, each offering their opinion on which path you should take. But in the midst of all this, there is a quiet voice within you, a feeling and a knowing pointing you in a particular direction. Trusting yourself means having the courage to follow that inner guidance, even if you can't rationally explain why it feels right. This trust is not built overnight. It is cultivated through practice, through small acts of faith in yourself. Each time you honor your inner knowing, each time you choose to do what feels right despite doubts or external pressure, you strengthen this trust. You weave a stronger connection to your higher self. Now, as we focus on ourselves and strive to choose the right thing, it's crucial to address the role of forgiveness, both of others and, perhaps more importantly, of ourselves. For many of us, the path of self-focus and right action is hindered by the weight of past mistakes, regrets, and perceived failures. Imagine you are carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents a past action you regret, a choice you had made differently, a moment when you feel you failed to do the right thing. How can you move forward freely? How can you make clear choices for your highest good when you're weighed down by this burden? Forgiveness is the act of emptying this backpack. It's not about condoning harmful actions or denying the impact of past choices. Rather, it's about releasing the emotional charge, the self-judgment that keeps you tethered to the past. To forgive yourself is to recognize that you, like all humans, are on a journey of growth and learning. Every choice you've made, even those you now regret, has served a purpose in your evolution. Each mistake has been a teacher, offering valuable lessons that have shaped who you are today. Engage in this practice, close your eyes and imagine yourself standing before a younger version of you, the you who made those choices you now regret. Look at this younger self with compassion. Recognize the limitations of knowledge, awareness, or circumstances that influence those choices. Now extend forgiveness to this younger self. Feel the lightness, the release that comes with this forgiveness. Remember, focusing on yourself and choosing the right thing is not about achieving perfection. It's about continuous growth, about making conscious choices aligned with your highest self in each moment. And this process includes forgiving yourself when you fall short, when you temporarily lose your way. This practice of self-forgiveness opens the door to greater self-love and self-acceptance. And from this place of self-love, you are far more capable of making choices that truly serve your highest good and the good of others. Now, let us delve into another crucial aspect of focusing on yourself and choosing the right thing, the power of your words. The words you speak, both to others and in the privacy of your own mind, are far more than mere sounds or symbols. They are creative forces that shape your reality. Imagine that every word you speak is like a seed planted in the fertile soil of the universe. The thoughts and emotions attached to these words are like the water and sunlight that nourish these seeds, causing them to grow and bear fruit in your life. Are you planting seeds of positivity, of growth, of love? Or are your words sowing doubt, limitation, and fear? Pay close attention to your habitual phrases, to the way you talk about yourself and your life. Are you constantly affirming your capabilities, your worthiness, your worthiness to choose wisely and act rightly? Or do you often engage in self-deprecation, in expressions of doubt or unworthiness? This awareness of your words extends to your inner dialogue as well. The conversations you have with yourself in the privacy of your mind are perhaps the most powerful of all. For these are the words that shape your deepest beliefs about yourself and your place in the world. Practice speaking to yourself with kindness, with encouragement, with unwavering faith in your ability to focus on what truly matters and to choose the right path. When you catch yourself in negative self-talk, gently but firmly redirect your thoughts. Replace phrases like I can't or I'm not good enough with empowering alternatives. I am capable of growth and learning, or I trust in my ability to make wise choices. This mindful use of language is not about denial or forced positivity. It's about consciously choosing words that align with your highest vision of yourself. Words that support your growth and empower your choices. Consider this. If you had a young child who looked up to you for guidance and support, how would you speak to them? Would you constantly criticize their efforts, doubt their abilities, or remind them of past mistakes? Of course not. You would encourage them, believe in their potential, and guide them with love and patience. Extend this same compassionate, nurturing speech to yourself. As you cultivate this positive self-talk, you'll find that focusing on yourself becomes easier. The voice of your higher self guiding you towards right action becomes clearer and stronger. Your ability to choose the right thing, even in challenging circumstances, is enhanced. Now let us explore another vital element in this journey of self-focus and right action, the power of your environment. Just as a plant is influenced by the soil in which it's planted, the air it breathes, and the light it receives, you too are profoundly affected by your surroundings. Your environment includes not just your physical space, but also the people you interact with, the media you consume, the activities you engage in, All of these factors contribute to shaping your thoughts, your emotions, and ultimately your choices. Take a moment to assess your current environment. Does it support your highest vision of yourself? Does it encourage you to focus on what truly matters and to make choices aligned with your values? Or does it distract you, drain your energy, or pull you towards choices that don't serve your highest good? Remember, you have the power to shape your environment. You can choose what you allow into your physical and mental space. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or avoiding all challenges. Rather, it means being intentional about what and who you surround yourself with. Seek out environments that inspire you, that remind you of your potential. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who encourage your growth, who respect your journey of self-discovery and right action. Engage in activities that energize you, that connect you more deeply with your true self. If you find that certain elements of your environment are not supporting your highest good, have the courage to make changes. This might mean setting boundaries with certain individuals, changing your habits of media consumption, or even making significant life changes like switching careers or moving to a new location. Creating an environment that supports your focus on yourself and your commitment to choosing the right thing is not a selfish act. By cultivating an environment that brings out the best in you, you become better equipped to contribute positively to the world around you. Imagine you are a musical instrument. Your environment is like the space in which you're played. A noisy, chaotic space filled with discordant sounds would make it difficult for your true melody to be heard. But in a space designed for acoustic perfection, your music can resonate clearly and beautifully. By consciously creating an environment that supports your growth and aligned choices, you allow your unique music, your gifts, your purpose, your right actions to resonate more powerfully in the world. As we continue on this exploration of focusing on yourself and choosing the right thing, let us delve into the power of intention. Intention is like the rudder of a ship. It determines the direction of your journey. Without clear intention, we risk drifting aimlessly, our choices guided by momentary impulses or external pressures rather than our deeper truth. Setting intentions is not the same as setting goals. While goals are focused on specific outcomes, intentions are about who you want to be, how you want to show up in the world. They are guiding principles that inform your moment-to-moment choices. Take a moment now to connect with your deepest intentions. What qualities do you wish to embody? How do you want to interact with the world and those around you? What impact do you wish to have? Let these intentions become a compass for your choices and actions. For example, you might set the intention to approach each interaction with compassion, to make choices that honor your physical and mental well-being, or to act with integrity, even when it's challenging. These intentions then become filters through which you can evaluate your choices. When faced with a decision, you can ask yourself, does this align with my intentions? Does it support who I want to be? Remember, intentions are not rigid rules, but flexible guides. They allow for adaptation to different situations while keeping you aligned with your core values and aspirations. By regularly connecting with and reaffirming your intentions, you strengthen your ability to focus on what truly matters to you and to consistently choose actions that are in harmony with your highest self. Now let us address a common challenge in the journey of self-focus and right action: the fear of judgment or disapproval from others. Many of us have been conditioned to seek external validation, to make choices based on what we think others expect or desire from us. This can lead us away from our true path, from the choices that are genuinely right for us. Imagine you are an actor on a stage, constantly adjusting your performance based on the reactions of the audience. This might lead to a crowd-pleasing show, but would it be an authentic expression of your art? Would it allow you to fully embody the character you're meant to play? To truly focus on yourself and choose the right thing, you must be willing to step off this stage of others' expectations. You must be willing to face the possibility of disapproval or misunderstanding from those around you. This doesn't mean disregarding others' feelings or perspectives entirely. It means recognizing that you cannot control others' thoughts or reactions, and that your primary responsibility is to be true to yourself and your own inner guidance. Practice seeing others' judgments or disapproval not as a reflection of your worth or the rightness of your choices, but as a reflection of their own perspectives, fears, and limitations. Their reactions say more about them than about you. Moreover, consider this: by having the courage to focus on yourself and make choices aligned with your highest truth, you give others permission to do the same. You become a living example of authenticity and integrity, inspiring others to connect with their own inner guidance. As we near the conclusion of our exploration, let us turn our attention to the profound impact that focusing on yourself and choosing the right thing can have on the world around you. There's a beautiful paradox at play here. By turning your focus inward, by prioritizing your own growth and alignment, you actually expand your capacity to positively influence the world. Imagine you are a lighthouse on the shore. Your light doesn't push or pull the ships in the sea. It doesn't judge which ships are worthy of guidance. It simply shines steady and true, offering illumination to all. By focusing on keeping your own light bright and clear, you provide a beacon that can guide countless others. This is how your journey of self-focus and right action affects the world. As you align more fully with your highest self, as you make choices from a place of inner truth and integrity, you naturally radiate an energy that uplifts and inspires others. Your actions, flowing from this place of alignment, contribute to the well-being of those around you and to the world at large in ways you might not even be aware of. Moreover, as you strengthen your ability to focus on yourself and choose rightly, you become better equipped to be of service to others. Your increased self-awareness allows you to recognize when you're truly able to help and when you might be overstepping or enabling unhealthy patterns. Your clearer connection to your own inner wisdom enhances your ability to offer meaningful support and guidance to others when appropriate. Remember, the world doesn't need more people who sacrifice their own well-being in a misguided attempt to please others or meet external expectations. The world needs individuals who are committed to their own growth, who are brave enough to walk their unique path, who choose to act from a place of authenticity and higher purpose. As we bring this discourse to a close, I invite you to see the journey of focusing on yourself and choosing the right thing as a sacred responsibility. It is not always an easy path. It requires courage, persistence, and a willingness to face your own shadows. But it is a path that leads to true fulfillment, to a life lived in alignment with your highest potential. Every time you choose to turn your attention inward, to listen to your own inner wisdom, you are engaging in an act of self-love and self-respect. Every time you make a choice that aligns with your deepest values, even when it's difficult, you are contributing to the evolution of your own consciousness and, by extension, the consciousness of the world. So, my dear friends, I challenge you to commit fully to this journey. Embrace the practice of self-reflection. Cultivate unwavering self-trust. Speak words of power and positivity. Create an environment that supports your growth. Set clear intentions. And above all, have the courage to be true to yourself, to choose what is right for you, even in the face of external pressures or temporary discomfort. Remember, you are not just a passive observer of your life. You are the author, the artist, the creator. With every thought, every word, every action, you are shaping your reality. By focusing on yourself and consistently choosing the right thing, you are not just changing your own life, you are contributing to the transformation of the world. Go forth with the knowledge that within you lies infinite potential. Trust in your ability to discern the right path. Have faith in the process of your own unfolding, and know that as you commit to this journey of self-focus and right action, you are playing your unique and vital role in the grand tapestry of existence. May your path be illuminated by the light of your own inner wisdom. May you find the strength to remain true to yourself, even in the face of challenges. And may your choices, flowing from your deepest truth, create ripples of positive change that extend far beyond what you can see or imagine. Thank you for your attention, for your willingness to engage in this exploration of self-focus and right action. May you carry these words not just in your mind, but in your heart, allowing them to guide you towards a life of greater authenticity, purpose, and fulfillment. What it truly means when we say, everyone leaves on the surface, it may appear to be a statement of abandonment, of loss, of inevitable solitude. But I tell you, it is a statement of profound truth about the nature of our reality and our journey through this world. You see, in this world of Caesar, in this realm of shadows and reflections, people come and go. Relationships form and dissolve. Even the most steadfast companions will, at some point, depart, if not through choice, then through the natural course of life and death. This is the way of the world we perceive with our physical senses. But I am here to remind you of a greater truth. You are never truly alone. For you are one with the divine, with the creative power of the universe, with what I often refer to as your wonderful human imagination. This is the God within you, and it is ever present, all-powerful, and the true source of all that you experience in your world. When we say everyone leaves, we are acknowledging the transient nature of our external experiences. We are recognizing that all things in this world of Caesar are temporary, fleeting. But in this recognition, we open ourselves to a profound realization. The only constant in your life is you, not the you of flesh and bone, but the divine you, the I am that is your true self. This I am is the God within you. It is the creative power that shapes your reality, It is the awareness that observes your thoughts, feelings, and experiences, and it is the only thing that truly never leaves you. Everything else, every person, every circumstance, every material possession is but a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. Now, you might be thinking, but Neville, this sounds isolating. Are you saying we should push everyone away? No, my dear friends, that is not what I'm suggesting at all. Instead, I'm inviting you to shift your perspective, to realize that your true power, your true essence, lies within you and not in the external world. When you understand this, when you truly grasp that you are one with the divine creative power of the universe, you will never feel alone again. You will realize that you have within you everything you need to not just survive, but to thrive, to create, to manifest the life of your dreams. Let me share with you a simple truth that has transformed countless lives. Your imagination is the God within you. It is the creative power through which all things are possible. When you learn to harness this power, when you learn to live from the end, to experience in your imagination the reality you desire, you become the master of your own destiny. You see, the world around you, with all its people and circumstances, is nothing more than a mirror reflecting back to you your own inner state. When you change within, the reflection must change without. This is the law, and it is immutable. So when we speak of learning to survive alone, what we're really talking about is learning to tap into the infinite power within you. It's about realizing that you are the operant power in your world. You are the one who decides what your experience will be, regardless of external circumstances. Now, let's delve deeper into this concept of being alone. In the world of Caesar, being alone often carries negative connotations. We're told that humans are social creatures, that we need others to thrive. And while it's true that relationships and connections can enrich our lives, it's crucial to understand that true fulfillment, true peace, true power comes from within. When you learn to be comfortable in your own company, when you learn to rely on your own inner resources, you become invincible. No external circumstance can shake you because you know that you carry within you the power to change any situation, to create any reality you desire. This is what it means to truly survive alone. It means to stand firm in the knowledge of who you really are, a divine being, one with God, possessing infinite creative power. It means to live from that state of awareness, to operate in the world from that unshakable foundation. But how do we achieve this state? How do we come to this realization and begin to live from it? The answer, my friends, lies in the practice of what I call the law. This law is simple yet profound. Imagine the reality you desire, feel it as real, and it must come to pass in your external world. You see, your imagination is not some fanciful, idle daydreaming. It is the very workshop of creation. When you imagine, you are engaging the God within you. You are exercising your divine creative power. And when you couple that imagination with feeling, when you feel the reality of what you've imagined, you set in motion the forces that will bring that imagined reality into your physical experience. This is how you not only survive but thrive when everyone leaves. You realize that you never needed anyone else to complete you, to fulfill you, to make you whole. You always had within you everything you needed. The people in your life, the relationships, the connections, these are all wonderful expressions of your inner state, reflections of your consciousness. But they are not the source of your happiness, your success, your fulfillment. You are the source. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Imagine a young woman who has just gone through a difficult breakup. In the world of Caesar, she might feel lost, alone, incomplete. She might believe that her happiness walked out the door with her former partner. But if this young woman understands the law, if she grasped the truth of her own divine nature, she would see the situation very differently. Instead of focusing on the loss, on the absence, she would turn within. She would use her imagination to create the reality she desires. Perhaps she imagines herself confident, joyful, and fulfilled. Perhaps she feels the reality of being in a loving, supportive relationship. Or perhaps she imagines herself thriving in her career, surrounded by friends, living a life of purpose and passion. The key is this: whatever she imagines and feels as real must by law be reflected in her external reality. This is not wishful thinking or positive affirmations. This is the operation of cosmic law. This is the creative power of God, the human imagination at work. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, isn't this selfish? Shouldn't we be focusing on others, on building relationships and connections? And to this, I say, there is no greater service you can offer to the world than to realize your own divine nature, to manifest your highest self, to live from the state of the person you wish to be. You see, when you do this, when you live from the end, from the state of your wish fulfilled, you automatically uplift everyone around you. You become a living example of what's possible. Your very being becomes an inspiration, a beacon of light in the world. Moreover, when you understand that everyone in your world is you pushed out, a reflection of your own consciousness, you realize that by changing yourself, by living from your higher state, you are quite literally changing the world. You are improving every relationship, every interaction, every circumstance in your life. This, my dear friends, is the true meaning of learning to survive alone. It's not about isolation or self-sufficiency in the worldly sense. It's about realizing your oneness with God, your true identity as the operant power in your world. It's about understanding that everything you seek, love, success, fulfillment, peace, is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Let's explore this concept further through the lens of various life situations. Consider the realm of career and success. Many people believe that their success depends on external factors, on knowing the right people, on being in the right place at the right point, on having the right qualifications or background. But I tell you, true success comes from within. When you imagine yourself successful, when you feel the reality of being the person you wish to be in your career, you align yourself with that state. You begin to think, speak, and act from that state of success. And inevitably, the outer world must reorganize itself to match your inner assumption. I've seen this principle at work countless times. I remember a young man who came to one of my lectures. He was struggling in his career, feeling stuck and unappreciated. I advised him to imagine himself in the position he desired, to feel the satisfaction and confidence of being successful in his field. At first he was skeptical, but Neville, he said, I don't have the experience or the connections. How can simply imagining make a difference? I told him to persist in his imaginal act, to make it so real that he could taste it, feel it, live it in his mind. Weeks later, he returned with a beaming smile. Not only had he been promoted to the very position he had imagined, but opportunities he had never even considered had begun to flow into his life. You see, when he changed his inner state, when he began to live from the end in his imagination, the outer world had no choice but to conform to his new self-concept. This, my friends, is the power you hold within you. This is how you thrive when it seems like everyone has left. When the outer world seems unsupportive or even hostile to hope, you turn within, you imagine the reality you desire, and you live from that state. Now let's turn our attention to the realm of relationships, for this is often where the fear of being alone is most keenly felt. Many of you may have experienced the pain of loss, the ache of heartbreak, the fear of abandonment. And in those moments, it can feel as though a vital part of you has been torn away. But I am here to remind you of a profound truth. No one can complete you because you are already complete. You are whole, perfect, and complete in your divine nature. The love you seek, the companionship you desire, these are all within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. When you understand this, when you live from this truth, you free yourself from the desperate need for others to fill a perceived void in your life. You become magnetic, attracting into your life people and relationships that reflect your inner state of wholeness and love. Let me share with you the story of a dear friend who grasped this truth and transformed her life. She had been through a series of unfulfilling relationships, each ending in heartbreak and disappointment. She came to me feeling depleted, wondering if she was destined to be alone forever. I asked her a simple question. Who would you be if you were in the perfect relationship? How would you feel? How would you carry yourself? I encouraged her to imagine herself as that person, to feel the joy, the confidence, the love that she would feel in her ideal relationship. At first, she found it challenging. The pain of her past experiences kept intruding on her imaginal scene. But I urged her to persist, to make her imaginal act more real than her memories of past disappointments. Gradually, she began to feel a shift. She noticed that she was becoming more confident, more joyful, more at peace with herself. She no longer felt the desperate need to be in a relationship. And then something remarkable happened. Not only did she begin to attract healthier, more fulfilling relationships into her life, but she realized that she had fallen in love with herself. She had discovered the wellspring of love within her own being. She understood, perhaps for the first time, that she was complete in herself. This, my dear friends, is the liberating truth I want you to grasp tonight. When you realize that you are complete in yourself, when you tap into the infinite love and power within you, you free yourself from the fear of being alone. You learn not just to survive, but to thrive in any circumstance. Now, let's address another aspect of our topic, the fear of death. For in the world of Caesar, death represents the ultimate leaving, the final solitude. Many live in fear of this moment, seeing it as the end of everything, the ultimate separation. But I tell you, death is but a transition, a shift in consciousness. When you understand your true nature as a spiritual being, as one with God, you realize death holds no power over you. Your true self, your I am, is eternal and unchanging. In fact, I encourage you to practice dying daily. By this, I mean to die to your old concept of self, to let go of limiting beliefs and negative self-images. Each night as you go to sleep, imagine yourself as the person you wish to be. Feel the reality of your wish fulfilled. Then, as you awake each morning, carry that new self-concept with you into your day. This practice of dying daily to your old self and being reborn to your ideal self is the key to personal transformation. It is how you survive and thrive in a world where everything is constantly changing, where people come and go, where nothing in the world of Caesar is permanent. Remember, my friends, that your true home is not in this world of shadows and reflections. Your true home is in the realm of imagination, in the kingdom of God within you. When you live from this awareness, you are never truly alone, never truly abandoned, never truly at the mercy of external circumstances. Let's now turn our attention to the practical application of these principles in your daily life. How do you begin to live from this state of divine awareness? How do you tap into the God within you and create the life you desire? The first step is to still your mind, to quiet the incessant chatter of your physical senses and your rational mind. This is why I often emphasize the importance of meditation and contemplation. Find time each day to sit in silence to turn your attention inward. As you sit in silence, bring to mind the reality you wish to experience. See it clearly in your mind's eye, but don't stop at mere visualization. Engage all your senses. If you're imagining a successful career, feel the satisfaction of achievement. Hear the congratulations of your colleagues. Feel the weight of responsibility and the thrill of new challenges. If you're imagining a loving relationship, feel the warmth of your partner's embrace. Hear the words of love and support. Feel the deep sense of connection and understanding. Whatever you're imagining, make it as real and as vivid as possible. And here's the crucial part. Feel the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the sense of accomplishment, as if what you're imagining is already your reality. This feeling, this emotion, is the secret to effective manifestation. For you see, the subconscious mind, which is one with the universal creative force, doesn't distinguish between what you're experiencing in your physical reality and what you're experiencing vividly in your imagination. When you feel the reality of your imagined state, you impress that reality upon your subconscious mind, and it begins to work tirelessly to bring that reality into your physical experience. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, I've tried this, and it didn't work. I imagined what I wanted, but nothing changed to this. I say persistence is key. You must return to your imaginal scene night after night, impressing it upon your subconscious mind until it feels more real to you than your current physical reality. Remember, you are undoing years, perhaps decades of negative thinking and limiting beliefs. You are reversing the momentum of your old thought patterns. This takes time and consistent effort. But I assure you, if you persist, if you remain faithful to your imaginal act, it must bear fruit in your physical reality. Moreover, you must learn to live from the state of your wish fulfilled. This means aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with the person you are imagining yourself to be. If you're imagining financial abundance, start treating yourself as if you are already wealthy. If you're imagining a loving relationship, start treating yourself and others with the love and respect you envision in your ideal relationship. This is what I mean when I speak of living from the end. You don't wait for your outer world to change before you change your inner state. You change your inner state, and your outer world must follow suit. Now let's address a common concern that arises when we speak of creating our own reality. Many worry, if I'm creating my reality, does that mean I'm to blame for all the negative things in my life? And to this I say, let go of the concepts of blame and fault. These are limiting beliefs that keep you trapped in a cycle of guilt and self-recrimination. Instead, embrace the empowering truth that if you can imagine it, you can create it. Your past thoughts and beliefs may have contributed to your current circumstances, but your future is determined by your present thoughts and beliefs. You have the power right now, in this very moment, to begin creating the life you desire. This understanding is particularly powerful when it comes to healing from past hurts and traumas. Many of you may have experienced abandonment, betrayal, or loss. These experiences can leave deep scars, making it difficult to trust, to open your heart, to believe in the possibility of love and connection. But I tell you, no matter what you've experienced in the past, you have the power to heal. You have the power to rewrite your story, to create a new narrative for your life. And it all begins in your imagination. Imagine yourself healed, whole, and complete. Feel the peace that comes with forgiveness, the joy that comes with self-love, the confidence that comes with knowing your own worth. Live from this state and watch as your outer world begins to reflect your inner healing. Remember, everyone who has ever hurt you, everyone who has ever left you, was simply playing a role in the story you were telling. As you change your story, as you revise your concept of self, the characters in your life will either change to match your new narrative or they will exit stage left, making room for new characters who align with your new self-concept. This is the true meaning of learning to survive alone. It's about recognizing that you are the author of your life story. You are the creator of your reality. You have within you everything you need to create the life you desire. Now, let's talk about the concept of revision, a powerful technique that can help you reshape your past and consequently your present and future. Revision is not about denying what happened, but about reinterpreting events in a way that empowers you and aligns with your desired reality. For instance, if you've experienced a painful breakup, instead of replaying the hurt and betrayal in your mind you have seen, imagine the relationship ending amicably, with both parties wishing each other well. Feel the peace and closure that comes with this revised scenario. Or if you've lost a job, instead of dwelling on the feelings of rejection and failure, revise the scene. Imagine your former employer congratulating you on moving on to bigger, better opportunities. Feel the excitement and optimism of new beginnings. By revising past events in your imagination, you're not changing what physically happened, but you are changing your emotional response to those events. And since your emotional state is what creates your reality, this revision can have a profound impact on your present and future experiences. This practice of revision is particularly powerful when it comes to healing feelings of abandonment or betrayal. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of others' actions, you begin to see yourself as the powerful creator of your own experience. You realize that no one can truly abandon you because you are never alone. You are always one with the divine, with the God within you. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be feeling as you hear these words. You might be thinking, Neville, this all sounds wonderful, but it feels selfish. Shouldn't we be focusing on helping others, on making the world a better place? To this I say, there is no greater service you can offer to the world than to realize your own divine nature and to live a nature. When you tap into the God within you, when you begin to create consciously and deliberately, you become a beacon of light in the world. Your very being uplifts those around you. Moreover, when you understand that everyone and everything in your world is you pushed out, a reflection of your own consciousness, you realize that by changing yourself, you are changing the world. As you cultivate love, peace, and abundance within yourself, you naturally extend these qualities to everyone in your world. This is the true meaning of being your brother's keeper. It's not about trying to change others or fix their problems. It's about embodying the change you wish to see in the world. It's about living from the state of the person you wish to be. And in doing so, inspiring others to recognize their own divine nature. Let me share with you a powerful practice that can help you embody this understanding. Each night, before you go to sleep, I want you to imagine yourself as the person you wish to be. See yourself living the life you desire, embodying the qualities you admire. But don't stop there. As you imagine this ideal version of yourself, extend that same love, success, and fulfillment to everyone in your world. See everyone around you thriving, joyful, and fulfilled. Feel the happiness that comes from knowing that as you prosper, so does everyone in your world. This practice not only accelerates your own manifestation process, but also cultivates a deep sense of connection and oneness with all of life. You begin to understand experientially that there is no separation, that we are all one in consciousness. As you continue this practice, you'll find that your fear of being alone, your fear of abandonment begins to dissolve. You realize that you can never truly be alone because you are one with all of life. You are one with God, the creative power of the universe. Now let's delve deeper into the concept of states of consciousness, for this understanding is crucial to mastering the art of conscious creation. Every experience you have, every circumstance in your life, is the result of the state of consciousness you're occupying. A state is simply a mindset, a way of being. It's the sum total of your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings about yourself and the world. When you change your state, when you shift your consciousness to embody different thoughts, beliefs, and feelings, your experience must change to match your new state. This is why it's so important to mind your inner conversations, to be aware of the thoughts you're thinking and the emotions you're feeling throughout your seal. These inner conversations, these habitual thought patterns, are creating your reality. If you find yourself constantly thinking thoughts of lack, of loneliness, of abandonment, you're occupying a state that will continue to create experiences that match those thoughts. But the moment you shift your consciousness, the moment you begin to think thoughts of abundance, of connection, of divine companionship, you move into a new state. And your reality must shift to reflect this new state. This understanding is particularly powerful when it comes to dealing with the fear of being alone. You see, loneliness is a state of consciousness. It's not determined by your external circumstances, but by your inner perception of those circumstances. You can be in a room full of people and feel desperately alone if you're occupying a state of loneliness. Conversely, you can be physically alone and feel deeply connected and fulfilled if you're occupying a state of divine companionship, of oneness with God. The key then is to consciously choose the state you wish to occupy. And you do this through your imagination. By imagining yourself in the state you desire, by feeling the reality of that state, you begin to shift your consciousness. And as your consciousness shifts, your reality must follow suit. Let me give you a practical exercise to help you master this skill of state shifting. Choose a state you wish to embody. Perhaps it's confidence or love or success. Now, close your eyes and imagine a scene that implies you are already living from that state. Make it as vivid and as real as possible. For instance, if you're imagining the state of confidence, you might see yourself giving a powerful presentation to a room full of attentive listeners. Feel the confidence coursing through your body. Hear the applause at the end of your talk. Feel the satisfaction of knowing you've made a positive impact. Now, here's the crucial part. Carry this feeling with you throughout your day. When you interact with others, when you go about your tasks, do so from this state of confidence. Speak, think, and act as the confident person you've imagined yourself to be. At first, this might feel like you're pretending or playing a role. But I assure you, as you persist in this practice, it will become more and more natural. You'll find yourself spontaneously thinking and acting from this new state. And as you do, you'll see your outer world begin to reflect your inner state. This practice of consciously choosing and occupying states is the key to mastering your life experience. It's how you learn not just to survive, but to thrive, regardless of external circumstances. It's how you become the conscious creator of your reality. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when we discuss these principles. Many ask, Neville, if I can create my reality through my imagination, why do bad things stay? Why do I still experience loss and pain? To this I say, remember that you are in the process of awakening to your true nature as a divine creator. You are learning to use the power of your imagination consciously and deliberately. But for much of your life, you've been creating unconsciously, reacting to circumstances rather than consciously choosing your state. Moreover, you are surrounded by the thoughts and beliefs of others, by societal conditioning that often runs counter to these principles. It takes time and practice to overcome these influences and to consistently create from a place of conscious awareness. But here's the empowering truth. Even when challenging circumstances arise, you have the power to choose how you respond. You have the power to revise your experience, to find the gift in every situation, to use every experience as an opportunity for growth and expansion. This is what it means to be the operant power in your world. It doesn't mean that you'll never face challenges or that everything will always go smoothly. It means that you have the power to choose your response to every situation, to create meaning from every experience, to use every circumstance as a stepping stone to your desired reality. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to leave you with a powerful reminder. You are never truly alone. The God within you, your own wonderful human imagination, is your constant companion, your unfailing friend, your source of infinite possibility. When you fully grasp this truth, when you live from this understanding, you free yourself from the fear of abandonment, from the anxiety of being alone. You realize that everything you seek, love, companionship, success, fulfillment, is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. So, my dear friends, as you go forth from this place, I encourage you to practice living from the state of your wish fulfilled. Imagine the reality you desire. Feel it as real and persist in that feeling. Know that as you do this, you are engaging the creative power of the universe. You are activating the God within you. Remember, everyone lives in the world of Caesar, but in the world of spirit, in the kingdom of God within you, you are never alone. You are one with the source of all creation, one with the power that shapes universes. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding. And watch as your world transforms to reflect the divine being that you truly are. Thank you, and may God bless you all. For you see, the you that you believe yourself to be, that collection of memories, experiences, and self-imposed limitations is but a shadow of your true self. You are not the sum of your past experiences, nor are you defined by the opinions and judgments of others. You are, in truth, an infinite being of pure consciousness, temporarily clothed in the garment of human flesh. Let us begin by understanding that your current state of being, your present circumstances, are nothing more than the outpicturing of your past assumptions and beliefs. Every aspect of your life, from the state of your health to the balance of your bank account, is a direct reflection of the thoughts and beliefs you have accepted as true. But here's the liberating truth. You are not bound by these thoughts and beliefs unless you choose to be. Consider for a moment the nature of your thoughts. They come and go, fleeting and ephemeral like clouds passing across the sky of your consciousness. Yet how often do we cling to these thoughts, believing them to be the very fabric of our being? We say, I am poor. I am unlucky in love. I am not talented enough. As if these statements were immutable facts rather than transient beliefs. But I tell you now, with absolute certainty, that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind the thoughts, the silent observer that watches the parade of ideas marching through your mind. This awareness, this consciousness is your true self, boundless, eternal, and filled with infinite potential. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. When you say, I think, who is the I that is doing the thinking? Is it not something beyond the thought itself? This I is the true you, the being of pure awareness that exists prior to all thoughts and experiences. It is this I that we must learn to identify with, rather than the fleeting contents of our minds. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, if I am not my thoughts, then who am I? And to this I say, you are the very substance of God. For it is written in the scriptures, I and my Father are one. This is not mere poetic language, my friends, but the most profound truth of existence. The I am that you feel when you say I am is the very same I am that spoke the universe into being. Realize that every time you say I am, you are invoking the name of God. It is the creative power of the universe itself. So when you say I am poor, I am sick, I am unlucky, you are quite literally commanding the universe to manifest these conditions in your life. But oh, the glorious flip side of this truth. When you declare I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am blessed beyond measure, you are setting in motion the very forces of creation to bring these states into your experience. This, my dear listeners, is the crux of our discussion tonight. You are not what you think you are. You are what you believe yourself to be at the deepest level of your being. And this belief, this assumption, can be changed. You have the power here and now to choose a new concept of self, to select the version of you that you wish to be, and to live from that state until it becomes your reality. Let me share with you a secret that has transformed countless lives, the power of revision. You see, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the outer world. This means that you have the ability to go back into your past, in your imagination, and relive events as you wish they had happened. By doing so, you are literally rewriting the script of your life, changing the trajectory of your present and future. Suppose you had an argument with a loved one earlier today. Instead of replaying the unpleasant scene in your mind, reinforcing the negative emotions and outcomes, choose instead to revise it. Close your eyes and imagine the scene playing out differently. See yourself responding with love and understanding. Feel the warmth of reconciliation and harmony. Do this with feeling, with the full intensity of your imagination, and watch as your outer world begins to reflect this new inner reality. This practice of revision is not mere wishful thinking or self-delusion. It is a recognition of the fluid nature of time and the malleable nature of reality itself. For time, as we experience it in this three-dimensional world, is but an illusion. All moments, past, present, and future, exist simultaneously in the eternal now. By changing your concept of the past, you are quite literally altering the substance from which your present and future are formed. Now, I can sense that some of you may be struggling with this concept. You may be thinking, but Neville, I have tried positive thinking before, and nothing changed. To this I say, positive thinking alone is not enough. What is required is a complete shift in your state of consciousness. You must not merely think the thoughts of the person you wish to be. You must become that person in your imagination. This is where the power of assumption comes into play. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you live and move and have your being as if your desire were already a fact, you align yourself with the creative forces of the universe. Remember, your imagination is not a fantasy spinning faculty designed to escape reality. It is the very substance of reality itself, the God-given power to create and shape your world. Let me give you a practical example of how this works. Suppose you desire financial abundance. Instead of focusing on your current lack, or even on the process of acquiring wealth, you must assume the state of already being wealthy. How would you feel if you were already in possession of great wealth? How would you walk, talk, and carry yourself? What thoughts would occupy your mind? Leave from this state, persist in it, and watch as the outer world reshapes itself to match your inner assumption. This is not to say that you should neglect practical action, but understand that inspired action springs naturally from your assumed state of being. When you truly believe and feel yourself to be wealthy, you will find opportunities for increasing your wealth presenting themselves to you effortlessly. You will be inspired to take actions that align with your new self-concept, and these actions will bear fruit in ways you could never have planned or anticipated. Now let us address another crucial aspect of this teaching, the nature of your desires. Many of you have been taught that your desires are somehow separate from you, that they are things to be pursued and attained. But I tell you now, your desires are not external to you. They are the voice of God within you, calling you to express more of your true, divine nature. When you feel a burning desire for something, be it a loving relationship, a fulfilling career, or perfect health, know that this desire is not born of lack. It is, in fact, a preview of coming attractions. It is your higher self, your God self, calling you to step into a greater expression of who you truly are. The very presence of the desire is proof of its possibility. For how could you desire something that was not already yours on some level of being? This understanding liberates you from the anxious pursuit of your desires. Instead of chasing after them, you can rest in the calm assurance that what you desire desires you. Your role is simply to align your consciousness with the state of having already received your heart's desire. As you do this, you open yourself to receive the good that is already yours. Let us now turn our attention to the world around you. Many of you may look at the conditions of your life and the state of the world and feel discouraged. You may think, how can I possibly change my reality when there is so much evidence to the contrary? But I urge you to remember the world you see is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of past beliefs and assumptions. The outer world, in all its seeming solidity, is far more malleable than you might think. It is, in fact, infinitely responsive to your state of consciousness. When you change your concept of self, when you assume a new state of being, the entire universe moves to accommodate your new self-concept. This is not wishful thinking, my friends. This is the law by which worlds are framed. Consider the words of the prophet Isaiah, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is not merely poetic language, but a statement of cosmic law. Your inner world, your state of consciousness, is the cause and the outer world is the effect. Change the cause and the effect must necessarily change. This understanding places a great responsibility upon your shoulders. For if you are the creator of your reality, then you must be willing to take full responsibility for every aspect of your life. No longer can you blame circumstances, other people, or fate for your conditions. But with this responsibility comes immense power. The power to reshape your world according to your highest ideals. Now, some of you may be wondering, if I am not what I think I am, if I am this infinite being of pure consciousness, why do I not experience this in my daily life? The answer lies in the power of habit and the nature of your attention. You have spent years, perhaps lifetimes, identifying with your limited self-concept. You have practiced the art of being small, of being less than you truly are. But just as you have practiced limitation, you can practice expansion. You can train yourself to identify with your true, infinite nature. This is the essence of spiritual practice. Not to become something you are not, but to realize and express what you have always been. One powerful way to do this is through the practice of meditation. Not the meditation of emptying your mind, but the meditation of filling your consciousness with awareness of your true nature. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and simply be aware of being aware. Feel the I am presence within you, that sense of existence that underlies all your experiences. As you do this regularly, you will find your identification shifting from the limited ego self to the infinite divine self. Another powerful practice is the use of affirmations, but not in the way they are commonly understood. Instead of repeating phrases by rote, feel the truth of the statements you make. When you say, I am wealthy, feel the reality of abundance coursing through your being. When you declare, I am loved, feel the warmth of divine love embracing you. Remember, it is not the words themselves that have power, but the feeling tone behind them. As you engage in these practices, you may encounter resistance. Old beliefs and habits may rise up, challenging your new understanding. This is natural and to be expected. Your ego self, that collection of beliefs and memories you have identified with for so long, will fight to maintain its existence. But remember, this resistance is not your true self. It is merely the dying gasp and outmoded concept of being. When you encounter this resistance, do not fight against it. Fighting only gives it power and reality. Instead, simply observe it with compassion and understanding. Know that it is nothing more than a passing cloud in the vast sky of your consciousness. As you persist in your new assumptions, as you continue to live from your desired state, these old patterns will gradually dissolve like mist before the rising sun. Now let us address a question that may be arising in some of your minds. If I am not what I think I am, if I am this infinite being, why do I experience limitations and challenges in my life? This is a profound question, and the answer lies in the purpose of your earthly existence. You see, you have chosen to incarnate in this three-dimensional reality for the purpose of experience and expression. Just as an actor takes on a role to express certain aspects of human experience, you have taken on this human form to explore the infinite possibilities of being. The limitations and challenges you face are not punishment or obstacles, but opportunities for growth and self-realization. When you encounter a challenge in your life, instead of seeing it as a problem to be solved, see it as an invitation to express more of your true divine nature. Every difficulty is an opportunity to remember who you really are, to shed the limitations of your assumed identity and step into the fullness of your being. This understanding transforms your approach to life's challenges. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what aspect of my divine nature am I being called to express through this experience? This shift in perspective aligns you with the flow of life, opening you to receive the lessons and blessings inherent in every situation. Remember, my dear friends, that you are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are that power individualized and made manifest. The entire universe exists within you, waiting to be explored and expressed. When you truly grasp this truth, when you live from this understanding, you become a conscious co-creator with God, shaping your reality according to your highest vision. Now let us delve even deeper into the nature of your being. You are not just a physical body, nor are you merely a collection of thoughts and emotions. You are consciousness itself, the awareness in which all experiences arise. This consciousness is not limited to your personal experiences. It is the very same consciousness that animates all of creation. When you realize this truth, you begin to see the divine in everything and everyone. The person sitting next to you, the tree outside your window, the stars in the night sky, all are expressions of the same consciousness that you are. This realization naturally gives rise to love, compassion, and a sense of unity with all of life. Living from this expanded state of consciousness does not mean you neglect your individual expression. On the contrary, it allows you to express your unique gifts and talents more fully. For when you know yourself as the infinite being that you are, you no longer fear judgment or failure. You are free to express yourself authentically, knowing that your individual expression is a vital and beautiful part of the cosmic dance. This understanding also transforms your relationships. When you see others as expressions of the same divine consciousness that you are, you naturally treat them with respect and kindness. You no longer need to manipulate or control others, for you recognize that their well-being is inseparable from your own. This is the basis of true love, not the needy, grasping love of the ego, but the expansive, unconditional love of your true nature. As you live from this expanded state of being, you will find that synchronicities and coincidences become more frequent in your life. This is because you are aligning yourself with the flow of universal intelligence. You begin to see the interconnectedness of all things, and you naturally flow with the currents of life rather than struggling against them. Now I want to address a common misconception about this teaching. Some of you may think that if you are not what you think you are, if your true nature is this infinite consciousness, then your individual personality and experiences don't matter. Nothing could be further from the truth. Your individual expression is how the infinite experiences itself in form. Your unique perspective, your talents, your desires, these are all valuable and necessary parts of the cosmic unfoldment. The key is to enjoy your individual expression while remembering your true nature. It's like an actor who fully embodies a role while never forgetting that they are acting. You can fully engage with your human experience, with all its joys and sorrows, while maintaining the awareness of your true, infinite nature. This balanced perspective allows you to play the game of life with zest and enthusiasm without becoming overly attached to outcomes. You can set goals and work towards them, knowing that the real joy lies not in achieving the goal itself, but in the expression and expansion of your being that the pursuit allows. As we near the conclusion of our discourse, I want to emphasize a crucial point. This teaching is not merely theoretical. It is meant to be lived, to be experienced in every moment of your daily life. It's not enough to intellectually understand that you are not what you think you are. You must live from this understanding, embody it in your thoughts, words, and actions. Start by questioning your habitual thoughts and beliefs. Whenever you catch yourself thinking, I can't, I'm not good enough, good anything thought, pause and ask yourself, is this really true? Is this who I really am? Then consciously choose a thought that aligns with your true infinite nature. Practice seeing yourself and others through the eyes of your higher self. Look beyond the surface appearances, beyond the roles and identities, to the divine essence that underlies all forms. As you do this consistently, you will find your perception of the world transforming. What once seemed like problems or obstacles will reveal themselves as opportunities for growth and expression. Engage in activities that remind you of your true nature. This could be meditation, as we discussed earlier, or it could be anything that brings you into a state of flow: art, music, dance, or communing with nature. These activities can serve as doorways to the experience of your infinite self. Remember, my dear friends, that this journey of self-realization is not about becoming something you are not. It is about remembering and expressing what you have always been. You are not evolving towards some future state of perfection. You are perfect, whole, and complete right now. Your journey is one of unveiling, of removing the veils of illusion that have hidden your true nature from your awareness. As you live from this understanding, you will find your life transforming in ways you might never have imagined. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable will dissolve in the light of your expanded awareness. Opportunities that you never noticed before will present themselves. You will find yourself guided by an inner wisdom that far surpasses the limited reasoning of the ego mind. But perhaps the most beautiful transformation will be in your relationship with yourself and with life itself. As you recognize your true nature, you will naturally begin to treat yourself with more kindness and compassion. The harsh inner critic that many of you have lived with for so long will gradually be replaced by a voice of loving wisdom. You will also find a new appreciation for the simple joys of existence. The beauty of a sunset, the laughter of a child, the taste of good food. All of these will take on a new depth of meaning. You will realize that every moment is a miracle, an opportunity to experience and express the divine nature that you are. As we conclude our discourse on You Are Not What You Think You Are, I urge you to take this understanding into your daily life. Let it inform your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Remember that you are not limited by your past, by your circumstances, or by the opinions of others. You are an infinite being of pure consciousness, temporarily expressing yourself in human form. Embrace this truth. Live from it. Let it transform your world. For when you are true who you truly are, when you live from the state of your divine nature, there are no limits to what you be, do, or have. You are the creator of reality, the author of your life story. Write it boldly, live it fully, and watch as the world transforms before your eyes. Go forth, my dear friends, in the knowledge of your true nature. You are not what you think you are infinitely more. You are the very substance of God, expressing itself in human form. Live from this truth and watch as miracles unfold in your life. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. It is not a place to be reached, but a state of consciousness to be realized and expressed. You are that kingdom, that power, that glory. Claim your divine inheritance. Live as the God being that you are. And so, with these words, I leave you to contemplate and embody this profound truth. You are not what you think you are. You are the infinite, eternal, boundless being of pure awareness. Know this, live this, and transform your world.